Hey guys, welcome back, and today I'll be doing the next part for what might be one of my favourite what ifs I've ever started to do, even though it doesn't do too well, and I have other series which are much more popular. This is probably one of my favourite ones just because I get to play around with Cabba, who is one of the best characters introduced in Dragon Ball Super, and a personal favourite of mine. So anyway, let's get going. Now we see the likes of Casual Corps, with the likes of Goten, Trunks, and Harrow playing around outside, with them just, being kids, fighting, training, messing around a bit. But suddenly a weird machine appears, not too far from them. The boys have never seen it before but recognize the Capsule Corp logo on it, and they slowly start to approach it. With the ship being quiet, the closer they get, the more they have to start to float up to try and see who's in it. And once they get towards the glassy part of the ship, someone jumps out of it and begins to look around, making eye contact with the kids, who are all a bit shocked and almost ready to fight. However, the likes of Bulma walking out to check on the boys soon screams out, with her seeing her future son, with her rushing over to check on him. With future Trunks having not taken as much damage as in canon, he's able to explain everything without passing out. He explains how he needs help. With Bulma seeing some bruises around the boy's body, she runs off to call in Goku, Raditz, and Cabba, with her managing to get hold of Whis, and explain that Raditz, Goku, and Cabba need to get back. Future Trunks is here. With her saying this, Whis is confused and kind of intrigued. Mortals shouldn't have time travel technology. What does she mean? But Raditz and Goku automatically want to rush off to help, alongside Cabba, who does want help as well. Raditz is probably the pushiest of this, and eventually the Angel starts to take the free back, with beerus tagging along. Having heard something about future and possibly time travel, he needs to go and inspect this. With them beginning their trip, but it will take them a while. So while waiting, Bulma and future Trunks get caught up. With the present Trunks really confused, he sits down to the side awkwardly, trying to figure out who this guy is and why she said son. With Bulma learning about why Trunks came back, she wants to find a way to help her son. With help soon arriving in the form of Gohan, he had sensed the power of Trunks arrive and he headed over to the Capsule Corp to figure out what was going on. With Gohan seeing future Trunks, he asks what he is doing back. With Trunks happy to see his master, he explains what this monster is who is terrorizing his timeline. With Gohan at first thinking it to be Majin Buu for a bit before Trunks explains who it is. This confuses Gohan a lot, however, he does want to help out a bit. And he can't figure out why his father would be attacking the future, or how he's even back. In the future, his dad died of a heart virus, so this is quite weird to take in. With the likes of Trunks and Gohan hanging around a little bit before the others get back, the likes of Goku, Raditz, and Cabba all show up eventually, with Whis and Beerus looking around, trying to see this future Trunks. However, Raditz sees Trunks and rushes over to his son. He tries to figure out why he is back, and after spending a few moments getting caught up from the likes of Gohan and Trunks, he is soon up to date. However, the whole time this is all happening, Trunks is giving his uncle a really weird look. He sees Goku and he knows this is his uncle, his family, but after being terrorized by him for so long, it's kind of hard to stop looking and not be confident around him. But he is happy to see his uncle is alive. He looks over to see Cabba as well, who is next to some weird cat-like creature and some weird person. With Cabba standing near Beerus and Whis, the gods are trying to figure out what is actually happening. After all, they're still pretty in the dark. And Cabba decides to give them a rundown of who Trunks is and what he's doing here, from what he knows, and why he's been here before. With Beerus angered to hear mortals have been playing with time, he storms over to the time traveler and begins to yell at the time traveler for breaking the rules. However, before Beerus can finish screaming and get ready to destroy future Trunks, a rift opens, with a power being felt leaving the rift. Everyone looks up to the rift and someone walks out of it. Well, more like flies. With the likes of Trunks panicking a little bit, and he expected to never see this person here in the present where it's safe. However, he soon explains how this is Black. This is the person who's been terrorizing the future. Raditz soon seeing this, he figures out this is the person who has been giving his son a lot of trouble. This is the person who's been making his son's life harder. And he soon jumps up to his ultimate form, rushes straight at Black. Black currently getting ready to fight, he soon sees Beerus and Whis. This makes him panic a little bit, however he's got a much more immediate threat coming straight towards him. With the likes of Raditz rushing at Black, not holding anything back, he begins to clash with the copycat, and soon the two are in a intense battle where Black is on the back foot the entire time. Raditz at this point is far outclassing him, and it doesn't take long for Raditz to throw Black around for a few minutes. With Raditz wanting to try and find a way to kill Black, however, the copycat is managing to just avoid death, but he hasn't landed a hit on Raditz which has done anything yet. With the same beating Black into a corner, Black's time ring soon begins to start pulling him back to the future. He's running out of time, and this is a good thing. He doesn't fight it, he wants to escape right now. However, Raditz doesn't want him to get out of here. As soon as Black begins to fly away, getting sucked into the timeline, he doesn't waste an opportunity. He quickly charges up a big blast and sends it flinging straight towards Goku Black. With the blast making connection and the portal closing, Raditz isn't sure of how that blast did. He's confident that if it hit, it killed him, but if not, he's alive. Now, with this done, he powers down and heads over to check on his family. With Beerus and Whis having noticed a ring on Black's hand and a very familiar key, they decide to go and check out a weird Kai in another universe, Zamasu. And things here go a bit like normal, with Goku going with them and the others waiting around for fuel, and soon the likes of Gohan and Trunks spend a bit of time catching up. However, here we see the kids join them as well, who just want to learn more about this Trunks guy. And they're shocked to hear this, but apparently they all met when they were kids, or at least they met their future versions. Goten can kind of remember this, but not really. Now, they linger around with Gohan and Trunks for most of the day, and the five hybrids even decide to do a bit of training, with the kids and future Trunks having to try and beat Gohan in a fight here, who has been keeping up his training, so he is in much better shape than his canon counterpart. So the four get ready to fight Gohan, with future Trunks not wanting to take this too seriously. He already feels like this is going to be a pretty close fight between them. However, once the battle starts, Gohan jumps up to his Super Saiyan 2 form, making Harrow jump up to Super Saiyan, which he has mastered, and Goten and Trunks go into Super Saiyan 2 themselves, which is something that Gohan had taught them during his time of training. With Trunks amazed at the power of the kids, he also goes into his Super Saiyan 2 form, with his power rivaling that of Gohan's. The group begins to clash with one another, and for a while Gohan is having to hold off all four of them, and he's at a massive disadvantage. But he does have one more trick up his sleeve. After a while of messing around with the kids, he knocks everyone away and jumps up to his ultimate form, which turns the battle in his favour immediately. The likes of Gohan's power amazes Trunks. He hasn't felt power like this. Unlike his father, he couldn't sense his energy. But this is incredible. And he does recognise his power to be similar to what his dad was using. With the kids still fighting, they keep trying, but soon are overpowered and they decide to call it quits there. However, Trunks never stops fighting. He takes the fight much more seriously. He's not able to keep up with Gohan, but he can maybe push himself for a while. The pair fight one another, always trying to find a way to overcome the other. Trunks might pull up an upper hand a tactic at one point, but Gohan will best him with power and strategy. And soon the pair call it a match. And after this is done, Trunks begins to ask about the power both he and his father used, with Gohan explaining how he got the power from a Kai. And this is annoying to Trunks, as the sword in the Kai planet granted this sort of power, and he wishes someone had known of this great power, otherwise he wouldn't have had to come back to the past. Now, much like earlier, everything lines up a bit with canon. The likes of Beerus and Whis think that Black is Zamasu, and Beerus is allowing the group to go back to the future to fix whatever is going on in the future timeline, believing it to be something that the Kais have messed up with. So Beerus is actually giving them a bit of breathing room here, which is handy for the group. Now, with the fuel all ready, the group decide that the best group to send would be Future Trunks, Goku, Raditz, and Cabba. Gohan wanted to come, but he couldn't fit in the ship, and they only managed to squeeze Cabba in because of his stature. Helped out quite a bit. Now, they travel back to the future. In the future, we see the destroyed city they were just in, and no signs of life throughout it. The group spend a moment trying to sense power, and Trunks senses his family, and they rush off towards them. Things here go mostly similar, however unlike canon, Trunks knows that both Bulma and Mai are safe. He also worries about his Aunt Chi Chi a little bit, but right now his biggest concern is for his cousin. with the likes of Trunks leading the group around for a while before they find a resistance, where Goku, much like normal, is nearly attacked, but stopped by Trunks. The likes of Future Bomber and Chi-Chi are happy to see the likes of Raditz and Goku. However, there is a bit of an awkward moment between Mai and Cabba. With the likes of Cabba seeing his wife, he tries to head over to her to talk to her, but something weird happens. She doesn't know him. Cabba soon learns that he had never travelled off to find the Dragon Balls in this timeline, so he never met Mai and Pilaf and Shu, so he never made them correct their wish, meaning that they became children by mistake years later. With Cabba realizing that he had prevented this, so he just sort of laughs and awkwardly introduces himself to the group. The group soon turned their attention to the heavily injured Goten in the room. With Goku seeing his son like this, he is worried, asking if he is okay. With Goten saying he is fine, and once he gets better, he'll get a massive boost from this, and it will be incredible, while laughing in pain. With the group having brought Sensus in this timeline thanks to there being a Rachora Goku, the group soon feed it to Goten, which brings the boy back up to full power. With his power jumping up massively, it's the biggest Zenkai the boy has ever received, and he soon spends a little bit of time catching up with his father. And he also gets smothered by his mother a bit, which is a nice feeling for Goten. He never got to experience much like this, and the last time he did, it was years ago. With the group soon deciding to go off and see if Black's alive, they fly off for a bit, all of them powering up to try and draw Black out. However, after waiting around for a while, they begin to realise that no one has shown up. They spend a bit of time trying to sense his ki, but can't find it. They're not sure if he can suppress his ki and is just trying to recover from the battle, or if he had died, so they decide that the best bet is to head off and look for him. And once they start looking for him, the likes of Raditz laughs to himself, thinking that he had either killed the copycat earlier or scared him off, which makes him quite happy. As, you know, he's a pretty bad guy, so it's always good. The group searching for what feels like ages, before eventually starting to search the outside of the city, where they soon come across a house in a forest. The group, being able to sense a power in there, decide that they should head into it, and the likes of Goku finds it very similar to that Zamasu guy, and Goku Black. With them walking into it, they see the apprentice Kai, with him panicking a bit. Everyone there takes a fighting stance, with no one moving first. Everyone's a bit confused, and it isn't until Raditz senses the energy of the Kai, he also figures out that this was the copycat as well. With everyone figuring this out after Goku and Raditz, they begin to get a bit more aggressive and a bit more ready to fight, with Zamasu unsure of what to do. With everyone being pretty unsure of what's even happening right now, a few seconds pass with no one making an attack, but eventually the tension finally gets to Zamasu, who attacks the group, with him rushing straight at the likes of Goku. However, the Saiyan can easily stop this and deflects the attack, moving him outside, and jumps up to Super Saiyan, with Goku then punching Zamasu, sending him flying away. Zamasu bursts out of the house and Goku chases off after him. With Goku and Zamasu fighting for a few minutes, with Goku talking to Zamasu, trying to learn more about the Kai, and soon learns his plan to destroy all mortals, and that's when Goku knows he needs to kill Zamasu. With the Saiyan jumping up to his Super Saiyan God form, he charges up a beam and throws a massive ki blast straight towards the Kai. Zamasu is completely engulfed by it, and the attack of Goku should have destroyed him. Goku sighs at having to kill someone who was so strong, but soon the key of Zamasu reappears, with the Kai laughing before revealing his wish to become immortal, and now he is unkillable. The group now begin to panic a bit. Goku once again throws multiple blasts towards the Kai. Everything he throws at him doesn't affect him, just is a minor inconvenience at this point. And soon Goku begins to clash with the Kai once again, with the group watching for a while, unsure of what to do, as they want to join, but they don't know how they'll even be able to take down the Kai. However, they decide that they need to get in there and throw everything they can at him to at least try and put him down. With everyone jumping up to their max output, Goten realizes that he is massively ahead of where he used to be. In fact, he believes he could probably take down the likes of Goku Black now. This is such a massive Zenkai. He's got something like this he hasn't gotten before, so this is a nice change of pace for him. Now, everything the group are throwing at the Kai won't put him down. They can't seem to do it. They strategize trying to cut him down into tiny little pieces and then disintegrate him. That doesn't work. The likes of Raditz and Cabba used a combined attack. Doesn't work. He keeps coming back. And over this time, the group are losing more and more confidence, whereas Zamasu is gaining more and more confidence. He realizes he never needed Black. He never needed any other help. He's immortal. He's unkillable. They can't actually stop him now. With the group soon figuring out that they actually can't win this fight, they start thinking of retreating, with them deciding to leave and regroup. Goku gets up close, shouts out Solar Flare, and they all fly off and hide their powers. With everyone having taken a good bit of damage thanks to Zamasu being immortal, and soon figuring out that he could do damage while taking damage, they all decide that they need to take a bit of time to recuperate and also come up with a new plan. Goku takes a moment to think, and he remembers it back in the past. He remembers the Mafuba. He believes it to be the answer to take down Zamasu. But there is a catch, he needs to go learn it. And it will take him a little bit of time to do this. So the group decide that the fighters from the past will all head back and learn this evil containment wave, while the future fighters will head off, recuperate a bit, and then keep everyone safe as long as possible. And if need be, they will fight off Zamasu for a little while. With this being the plan, the pure-blooded Saiyans aren't fully happy with, but they decide this is the best course of action. They all head back to the past, with Trunks having walked Raditz through how to work the time machine. The pure-blooded Saiyans soon arrive back into their time, and without saying too much of a word, they recall the time machine and head straight off to Kame House, where the three begin to start learning the Mafuba, with each of them making good progress. Every time one of them learns something, the other picks it up pretty fast. It's not only a necessity to learn this, it's become a competition, which helps greatly in their case. And soon, after just a day, they have got this down. Believing that they have the ability to do this, they all head back into the future. And when they arrive back there, they can actually sense the Marsus out, fighting the likes of Trunks and Goten. They panic a bit and rush off towards the boys. And once they arrive, they see them both quite beat up, running low on energy, while Zamasu looks pleased with himself. The realization that he never needed help has finally really kicked in. He laughs to himself, seeing the other three Saiyans, and he turns to them. It seems you have returned, mortals, but all you have done is come back to your death. With the three Saiyans kind of laughing at this before Cabba places the bottle on the floor and points his arms outwards. Zamasu's confused at this, and he looks at the small Saiyan. Cabba begins to concentrate, telling the other two to bring him a bit closer. We want to get this in right. With them nodding, both Goku and Raditz jump up to their max power. For Goku, this is the Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, and for the likes of Raditz, it's Ultimate, with the two brothers rushing at Zamasu, and the Kai can't do anything but take the beating. These three have got full energy right now, and even though Zamasu's immortal, it doesn't mean he can't be ragdolled for a while. And after throwing him around for a little bit, Cabba shouts out that he's ready. The two nod and fling him straight towards the small Saiyan. Zamasu is happy to see this. He's escaped from this, and he can also sense that those two are actually running out of steam just a little bit. But he soon is worried once again as he hears a shout of Mafuba. The Kai is caught in something he wasn't prepared for. Soon, this green light begins to consume him as he gets spun and spun and spun around, and eventually flung straight into a small bottle. Cabba puts on the lid and applies the seal. They have saved the day by remembering the goddamn seal! I'm sorry, it just makes me angry. Goku learnt the Mafuba for nothing in canon, and it really angered me. The Mafuba is so cool, but it was wasted. Anyway, sorry about that. I just needed to get that out of my system. This arc's great. It has some terrible issues in it. Anyway, with this done, the likes of Goten and Trunks spend a few moments asking about everything they just saw, and they soon learn how everyone has very different goals. And Trunks learns a bit more about the Ultimate form. Goten wants to learn about the Blue Head form. They want to know a little bit about this Mafuba, and they're soon all filled in a little bit, and learn how Zamasu will be sealed away forever as long as the seal isn't broken. So they explain how they will take it to the Kais in their world and get it destroyed or something. Now, with the future fighters hearing this, they thank their family and friends from the past, with the group spending a bit of time and helping the future kind of fix only for a day or two before heading back to their timeline to be with their families. And they all head back. The future thanks the three Saiyans, with things lining up like in canon. Things such as Goku meeting with Zeno, the world entering a time of peace over the next year, and the likes of Cabba, Goku, Raditz continue their training. However, the three don't spend all their time training. See, the likes of Raditz and Cabba have to spend more time on Earth recently, after the pair have both had a new life join their family. For the likes of Raditz, his daughter, Bulla, she's born earlier, thanks to the fact that Raditz is a bit easier to get on with than Vegeta once turned good. And for the Cabba, it's his second child, Sakura. She is born and have no reason to making her a girl. There's a few minor reasons. Things like I feel like Dragon Ball lacks a lot of female rep, especially among the Saiyans. We had Farsha for a while. She was sick. Um, Gine's not necessarily a fighter, but I think she's cool. We have KO and the one I can't pronounce the name of, and they're amazing, but I feel like we're missing some stuff. There is other good female rep like Chi Chi, Bulma, uh, Android 18. All of them are cool, but I feel like we deserved a hybrid earlier on who was a female. I don't know who could have had it. Maybe Goku. That would have been interesting instead of having Goten. Even though I like Goten, having a daughter might have been a bit cooler. But yeah, I just wanted to try and level the playing field. So in the future, there is at least another female fighter who will be cool. Alongside that, I also think there could be really funny situations with the likes of Pan, Buller, and Sakura. After all, I can imagine they all would get on pretty well, and this is a good way to continue the trio that we currently have. Even though Pan isn't Goku's daughter, it's still his granddaughter, so it counts for something. Now, after a year had gone by, the likes of Goku and Cabba are sparring with one another on Beerus' planet. The two are here just to kill time. Goku has probably been on Beerus' planet the longest, but Cabba has managed to come here for just a little bit. He wants to spend a bit more time with his family as he feels like it's been a while, and the world is in peace at the moment, so he does want to do that. However, while the two are sparring one another, an announcement is sent out throughout the universes from the Grand Priest. Attention, universes 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 9, 10, and 11. The Lord Zeno has recently grown bored, and after a show from universes 7 and 6, he has decided to hold a tournament where each universe will put together a team of 10, fight in a battle royale kind of setting, where we will see the winning universe get a wish on the Super Dragon Balls, and all universes that lose all of their fighters will be erased. Now, the rules for this tournament are very simple. There will be no flight, no tools or item usage, there will be no murder, and we look forward to the upcoming battles. Please be ready for the Tournament of Power. With this being said, the likes of Beerus freaks out, realizing that he indirectly caused this. This could be the death of his universe. He soon looks over to the likes of Cabba and Goku and shouts at the pair to head off and form up a team. They're kind of shocked at this and wasn't expected to be shouted at, but they soon get a lift back to Earth with Whis, and the pair already know who they're going to grab. They plan on grabbing the likes of Raditz, Gohan, Piccolo, and Krillin, with the two deciding to split up, with Goku going to grab Gohan and Krillin, while Cabba gets Raditz and Piccolo. With the two nodding upon getting to Earth, they split off, start heading towards the people they are going to grab. With Goku heading off towards Gohan first, he manages to convince him to join after explaining the stakes to him. With Gohan learning who Goku is recruiting, Gohan brings up the likes of Android 18. Now, someone pointed out that in the past I said that Android 18 wouldn't be alive in this timeline. Correctly so, even. And to that guy, sorry, I don't remember your name. You are really smart. Thank you for pointing that out. And I'm an idiot. You see, I mixed up some what ifs, which is something I tend to do not too often. I'm normally pretty good at keeping track what's happening, what if. But this one I just completely blanked on it, and I can't apologise enough. But what I will say is I'm just going to sort of fix this with a quick retcon here. I will say that the group wished back all those killed during the events of Cell's attack. And indirectly, this will bring back the likes of 18 and 17, who were killed in a way by Cell, but not intentionally, and this would lead to the likes of Krillin and 18 meeting, and their story would go normal once again. Yet again, thank you to the person who pointed this out to me. I appreciate you a lot. I like when people point out my mistakes, as I can learn from them and fix it. And I've now got a much better system of keeping track of everything. Normally, I just did it in really rough notes, but now I've got a better system, and that's because of this guy pointing out one of my mistakes. Anyway, let's get going. Now, Goku hearing this thinks it is be a pretty good idea and heads off to recruit the two, with Gohan heading off himself thinking to recruit the boys. This would make the team full, and he knows that they are all pretty strong, so it would be a good pick to pick up. With the likes of Goku managing to recruit both Krillin and 18, but this time he explains the stakes of the universe, which convinces them a bit faster. Now over with Cabba, the likes of both Raditz and Piccolo agree to join very easily. While Cabba is there, he sees the likes of Gohan show up with Harrow and Goten. Cabba asks what's happening. Gohan explains how he thought the boys might be a good choice in this tournament, as they have gotten a lot stronger over time. Cabba visibly is unsure about this. He knows this is a very serious thing, and he is not sure if his son and the kids can do this. Everyone being able to see this, they're kind of unsure of why it's like this. But soon Harrow jumps up saying how he promises he is strong enough to help and begs his father to let them try and save the universe with them. Cabba spends a moment thinking, with him looking towards his son. Be ready for a quick sparring match. If you can land a punch on me, I will allow you to join the tournament. But if not, we will go and get the likes of Tien and Roshi, and we'll have to find another member to join. With Harrow hearing this, the kid heads outside, with everyone looking at Cabba, with them all confused at how Cabba was acting. But the likes of Raditz and Piccolo understand what's going on. The group all go outside, where we see Harrow facing down his father, both taking a fighting pose, with Harrow rushing his father, throwing a flurry of punches towards him. He easily avoids all of them, with Cabba saying, "You're gonna have to try harder than that to hit me." With this annoying Harrow, he jumps up to Super Saiyan. With this leading to Harrow managing to catch his father off guard a small bit, almost landing a punch on his dad, who laughs at this, taking his son much more seriously. With the likes of Cabba only dodging at the moment, the punches thrown at him by his son are quite easy to dodge, and Harrow is doing everything in his power to land a hit, but he just can't. With Cabba thinking that his son can do nothing to hit him, he begins to relax a little bit and he's getting ready to end this fight. But when he soon hears a crack of lightning and his son's speed increases, Cabba looks towards his son confused. Seeing the boy coated in an aura which is coated in electricity, Cabba realizes that his son has become a Super Saiyan 2 and even seems to have gotten close to mastering the form. With all of Harrow's attacks becoming increasingly faster and a lot harder to dodge, Cabba looks at his son, smiling, before letting out a shout. Cabba turns up to Super Saiyan 4, looks at his son, who is now stopped in his place. Cabba says, "Are you going to stop now? Now that you can see the power difference. In this tournament, there might be people far stronger than me. If you're afraid to fight me, you won't last long in the tournament." With Harrow snapping back to his senses, realizing that his father just wanted to teach him that there are going to be people stronger than him, so he can't give up, and was always going to allow him to be in this tournament, Harry smiles and the boy rushes straight towards his father, going all out, trying his utmost best to land a single blow on his father. But after a short while, Cabba stops his son in one punch, with the likes of Cabba telling his son that he can join, but remember to never give up. With Harrow nodding, the two hug before the likes of Goku arrives with Krillin and 18. The group have only really used the first 24 hours up, so now they have some time to train and come up with a plan. With the likes of Goku, Raditz, and Cabba all realizing that they should, you know, head off and do some training with the hybrids. With the likes of Goku and Goten going off to train Raditz and Trunks, Cabba and Harrow. This is so they can catch up a little bit. You see, the boys, even though they are much stronger than their canon counterparts, but they are still some of the weaker ones on the team, so they decide that they should get some training in. With the likes of Gohan and Piccolo deciding that they will stay back here and do some planning to try and figure out what the best strategy would be. And Goku, Raditz, and Cabba all openly say that they are quite likely to head off on their own, so Gohan decides to plan around this strategy. Now, the Saiyan fathers need to come up with a way to get some good training in a short time. With Goku saying that they should all take 3 months in the hyperbolic time chamber, that means they can come out with plenty of time to spare, and they can also get a good bit of time in there. With all of them agreeing to do this, the likes of Raditz and Trunks heads in first. It's not a lot of time they can spend in there, but 3 months is still a lot to gain an advantage. The likes of Raditz can even probably grow a tiny bit stronger as well, and he could probably more refine his ultimate form. And soon the likes of Trunks it comes out a lot stronger than he was. Even though he has such a short time to work with, fighting with a stronger opponent who is also your father really does help. Next to head in is Goku and Goten. And Goku decides he's going to get a little nuts while he's in there. Goku having a better mastery over Super Saiyan 3 than in canon, thanks to the fact that he activated it on Earth, so he automatically knew that the stamina drain was something he needed to deal with. He has spent a little bit of his free time training it up, and has now pretty much got it to a state where he can hold it a lot better than he used to be able to. It's not perfect, and it's nowhere near as effective as he would ever want it to be, and nowhere near as good as Super Saiyan God, but it's a start. Goku begins to teach it to Goten. Goten, having only ever seen Super Saiyan 3 maybe twice, is having a bit of a hard time. It's because of his young body. It's a very draining form, so he has a hard time activating it. But slowly, as the 3 months go by, Goten slowly gets a bit more of a grip on it. And by the end of the 3 months, he may have not got it down fully, but he's so close to doing it, he might be able to just pull out the form after maybe a month or two's more training. And Goku is proud of his son for doing so. And the two walk out. Goten comes out a lot weaker than Trunks. To the fact he spent more time trying to learn a new form than he did doing actual training, meaning that he has missed out on a good bit of training. He still trained with his father, and Goku and Goten have come out stronger, but it was not as much as they could have done, so their gain is kind of minimal. Goku spent his time also trying to master Super Saiyan Blue and get a better hold of Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken. It's still a working process at the moment, but he's getting there. And finally, the last group to go in is the likes of Harrow and Cabba. The two head in, and Cabba doesn't really know what he wants to do for training. But remembering his son is so close to mastering Super Saiyan 2, he decides that is the first start. And after only a week or two, Harrow has got this form mastered. Cabba proud of his son, the two spend a lot more of their time training with one another. And this is the first bit of time Cabba and Harrow have really spent with one another over a long period. Cabba's a good father and spends a lot of time with his kids, but when he needs to train, he trains. And he unintentionally just hasn't seen Harrow a lot recently. But thanks to the fact he has a daughter, he has been on Earth a bit more. Now, after their training is done, Harrow probably comes out the strongest of the group. This is thanks to the fact he has probably a bit more potential than Trunks and Goten, and also thanks to the fact that he would have spent most of his time actually training quite intensely. And with that done, the group head back to Capsule Court where they get some rest in, and soon they are eventually about to head off to the battlegrounds. Before we head off and call this part here, let's cover the current power rankings of the group. Goku is in the lead thanks to him having accepted training from the gods. He's gone the godly route, unlike the other two, and his multipliers are much bigger than theirs, meaning that even if his base stat was lower, he's still getting to a higher point. Raditz follows behind that, and that's just because his training with Whis has been super beneficial with the ultimate form. Behind that is Cabba, who is still working on his idea, but he's getting very close. Next is Gohan, who is really strong compared to his canon counterpart, thanks to the fact he never really stopped training and he got the ultimate form. He's in a pretty good spot, not too far off from his canon counterpart, but enough that it would probably be noticeable. After that would probably be Harrow and Trunks. These two are about level with one another, and that is quite impressive for the boys, and they're happy to be where they are. On level with one another once again would be the likes of Piccolo and Goten. The boy has managed to catch up with the big green uncle his family really knows, and Piccolo is a lot stronger than his canon counterpart thanks to the fact that some events led to, things going quite differently. And after those two would be the likes of 18, and finally was Krillin. Krillin, unfortunately, is in the bottom section again. I'm sorry, Krillin, you're incredible, but you just don't do well here, man. And that's the rankings. But for this is where I'm leaving this part. This part has gone on for way too long, and I hope everyone enjoyed it. Just some small things I want to say quickly. Like I said, I hope everyone enjoyed, and I'm sorry about the long break I had taken. I just needed to get back into the flow of college life, and work was being really hectic, and it was just something I needed to do to get back into the flow of everything. But there is an April Fool's What If coming out. I'm really excited to do it. Even though I don't normally upload on Thursdays, I'm doing one because I wanted to. It's kind of weird because I'm doing one hella wacky one and I'm doing one quite tame one. The tame one I hope does well because I really like the idea behind it. But the wacky one is just something I jokingly brought up to one of my friends ages ago, and it was kind of a laugh, so we decided to do it. Well, I decided to do it, and I hope people don't mind. But yeah, I hope everyone enjoys. I hope you all have a great day or a lovely night, and I'll hopefully see you next time.